Welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast. I'm Tamiko Lowry, also known as the Empowering Diva. Each week, you'll hear inspirational interviews as well as actionable tips and strategies that you can implement into your daily life to help you live a life of passion, purpose, and potential. Thanks for spending time with me today. Now let's jump into today's episode of Living the Empowered Life. Are you the go-to person in your group of friends? Do you have a zest for life and enjoy helping others reach their full potential? Do you feel a calling to make a difference in the world? If this is you, then you may want to consider becoming a life coach. We have a virtual online training starting soon. Our life coach training focuses on helping women who desire to motivate, inspire, and empower other women by using their skills, expertise, and experience to thrive as a personal development coach. Using the empowerment formula, participants will learn step-by-step tools, tips, and techniques needed to attract great clients and build a thriving, purposeful, and profitable coaching business. Get all the details and register at www.tamikolowry.com/life coach training. Welcome to another episode of Living the Empowered Life podcast. I'm your host, the Empowering Diva, Tamiko Lowry. In today's episode, I'll be chatting with award-winning best-selling author, motivational speaker, and entrepreneur, Anna Nyakana. Through her own personal experiences, Anna discovered there is an overwhelming need for multicultural children's books where heroines could slay the fiercest of dragons versus filling the typical princess in distress role. She believes that it is critical that children see a reflection of themselves in the books that they read. Her mission is to inspire them one adventure at a time. Anna, welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast. I'm so excited to have you with us today. How are you?
I'm excellent, Tamiko. Thank you so much for inviting me onto your platform just to connect with all of your listeners and give them some motivation and some empowerment today.
Absolutely. You know, over here at Living the Empowered Life, we love empowerment. We love motivation. So I'm so excited to dive into our conversation. Before we get started, though, just tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, a little bit of your background, so we can get to know you.
Of course. So my journey started actually all the way in Berlin, Germany, where I was born and raised. My mother's German Moldavian and my father is from Uganda. And we actually immigrated to the States in the 90s. And I essentially grew up in Stamford, Connecticut for the rest of my adolescence. And, you know, my childhood is actually what inspired my entire purpose and my entire journey that I'm currently on. And the reason of why I'm on your show today. The seed of Niyah Zuri really began when I was a kid in school. I grew up in not the best part of town, and my school was really low funded, and we didn't have a lot of resources. And because of that, it caused a lot of struggle. It caused a lot of hardship. And as I was learning English, I kept finding that I wouldn't be able to find any books with characters that looked like me. So it always discouraged me. And I ended up practicing my English with literally a Merriam-Webster dictionary that I found in the corner of a dusty classroom one day. And I just started highlighting a word every day and disciplining myself to learn the word, commit it to memory, understand what it is, and then utilize it. And that's essentially how I learned English. But that experience really never left me. And also because of the school that I went to and the neighborhood that I grew up in, no one ever really came to motivate us, to empower us, to let us know that we were really limitless and that we could achieve anything that we wanted in life, that our zip code and our neighborhood and our school didn't have to define us and didn't have to place limitations on us. But that wasn't anything that was being told to us. So when I decided to start the path of authorhood, I knew the story that I wanted to write. I wanted it to focus on a fearless heroine who is my Niyah Zuri. And I wanted it to include world history and world culture because I really needed children, especially children of color, to have a way to gain that self-knowledge and build that self-love amongst themselves. And with that said, another part of what I really love to do is empower the youth and really breathe life into them, breathe into them these fundamental truths of Niyah Zuri, and then built on that, also empower women and really empower anyone that comes into contact with the Niyah Zuri movement. Because essentially, Niyah Zuri means beautiful purpose, Tamiko. And I did that on purpose because I want everyone to live optimally, to understand that they have a right to their destiny, that they have a right to fulfill their fullest potential.
Whew. Anna.
Yes.
You are amazing. I mean,
oh, thank you, sis.
Absolutely amazing. And I think about growing up. I don't remember there being books with someone who looked like me. You know what I mean?
There weren't any.
I really didn't see that until most recently, and thankful for people like you. But when I think about it as you were speaking, I'm like, I don't remember seeing books with someone that actually looked like me in them. So thank you for that, for all that you do. And then, you mentioned not having people to come and empower you and motivate you and let you know that you are limitless. There is something so powerful about that word limitless.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a very powerful word.
It's empowering. Yes, I have these words that really have such strengthening abilities to unbind a child's mind and literally propel them. Limitless is one of those words. I say, well, what is your value? I will ask the kids and they'll start saying, oh, like, how much do you think you're worth? Oh, I'm worth $100, or I'm worth $100,000, or I'm worth $1 million. I said, all of those answers wrong. They're like, we're worth $100 million. And they keep going up and up to the largest number that they can think of. And I always tell them they're wrong. Your value is infinity. It is limitless. So the last thing that you need to do is set a price on your head. Understand that you assign the value to yourself and that you have all the possibilities in life. You're the only one who can stop yourself. You're the only one who can get in your own way. But once again, when I said that no one came to our school, I really meant it. Our parents were very busy working 2, 3, sometimes even more jobs. There wasn't any sort of organized PTO or anyone to make sure that we even had any sort of like mental health and awareness discussions to really check on us and check on our confidence and check on our stability, regardless of the things that could have even been happening at home that we didn't, that teachers didn't even know about. We were passed along the grade level. I know I was, and I couldn't even speak English. I'm like, how do I keep going from grade level to grade level? I don't speak English. I'm barely learning math, but they have pressures themselves. The school systems do to ensure that they're performing right at a certain standard. So it's all this pressure, and it just continues to come down. At the end of the day, the youth, the students, they're the ones who suffer. So instead of complaining about it, instead of just reminiscing about my childhood and the things that I wish could have happened, that could have brought me to the spot that I am now, but sooner, I decided to change the narrative.
I love it. You changed the narrative. We need people. We need more people like you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. And so, of course, I was going to ask you about Niyah Zuri and what it means. Does it have a meaning? How did you come up with the concept? And you answered my question. You said that it means beautiful purpose. So the fact that you said it means beautiful purpose, I feel like we're aligned here because living the empowered life, there are 6 principles to living the empowered life. The third one is to live a life of purpose. So when you said beautiful purpose, I'm like, oh yeah, we're aligned here because I believe that we all have a unique purpose. Everything that we do should have some type of purpose to it. And so as you were creating this, I don't want to call it a project, right? The concept of Niyah Zuri.
Yes.
Where did it come from? What was the purpose behind it?
Niyah Zuri essentially is based on my childhood. She is a younger version of me. She's all the things that I was as a kid, but also all the things that I was lacking. I was a tomboy. I was always outside exploring with my friends because there was nothing to do inside. There was another thing. There was no programming with anyone of representation or diversity, multiculturalism on the screen either. So there's nothing to watch on TV that I even was attached to. I wasn't coming home with any sort of books that I wanted to sit and dig into again. So what do? I went outside and used my imagination. That was something that was freeing. That was something that allowed us to also escape a little bit from some of the obstacles and things that were, going on in our everyday lives. And with that, freedom of imagination, I was able to birth the world that is really now known as the adventures of Niyah Zuri, and why I'm bringing books. Now I'm bringing the messaging to screens, and I'm launching a cartoon series based on the books, because we deserve to be represented in all areas, in all industries. Kids should be able to identify and learn about different cultures. So Niyah Zuri essentially is me. She's a younger version of me. But like I said, I wasn't the most confident kid because I didn't speak English. I came here from another country. I didn't quite fit in because I am a woman of the world. I am diverse. Mm-hmm. And here in America, it was all about sides. There was no focus on culture. It was just race. It was black and white, one box. There were two boxes. You couldn't check both. You had to pick one on the, form at school or anywhere else. And I always found that interesting. And then I couldn't understand why our history wasn't being glorified here, wasn't being taught here accurately, that African Americans were just being taught about disparity and about things that were painful from the history here versus our glorious origins of Africa and all of our amazing empires and all of our advances that we created, the things that could actually empower children. So I took all of those ideas and essentially created the stories of Niyah Zuri. And her best friends, Miguel and Hugo Gonzalez, they essentially travel around the world with this amazing mystical map. It has these powers, and they can time travel and time loop. And they go back to different points in history and actually help other kids overcome any obstacles that they're facing. So it's another way to also allow children to help one another. And in the first book, they go back to ancient Egypt. Prince Tut is only about 8, 9 years old, Tamiko. Can you imagine being a child ruler of a kingdom?
Right. Wow.
Let me tell you something. I can't even imagine what that would have been like. But the characters go back and really help him overcome his fear. And essentially, I wanted children to be able to understand that your age should not stop you from really fulfilling your dreams. You mentioned that you have pillars. I actually have what I call the fundamental truths of Niyah Zuri, and I'd love to share them officially on your podcast.
You know what? Let's share them now. Since we're talking about Niyah Zuri, let's go ahead and talk about those fundamental truths.
Thank you so much. So these fundamental truths I really created as I was going in and out of the schools and doing more speaking engagements and really focusing on building up our youth. That way they can build themselves up and eventually help transform this world of something worthy for even them to inherit, right? So the first truth of Niyah Zuri is don't chase your dreams. Walk in your dreams. And you say, Anna, what is that? Everybody tells us to dream big. Yes, your parents, your family, your community, maybe even your teachers will tell you dream big, dream big. But that's just dreaming. That's not actually taking your ideas and your thoughts and your passions and implementing them. Actually walking in your dreams now, goal setting, figuring out what steps you need to take to accomplish that dream. You shouldn't just be dreaming. You should be applying that dream to your actual life right now. The time is now. The present is the most important, right? Is the most important factor in your life. Don't look back. Don't look too far ahead, but look in the present and apply it. So don't chase your dreams, walk in your dreams. Number 2 is always bet on yourself. Before anyone is going to jump on your bandwagon, you need to be able to believe in yourself. You need to bet on yourself and understand that if you show the world your passion, then they'll go ahead and support you. But until you believe in yourself beyond a shadow of a doubt, that your purpose, that your dream is something that you can attain and that you're worthy of attaining, well, that's when your actual journey begins. So always bet on yourself. Number 3 is never dim your light. Never dim your light.
That's
Don't
right.
worry about what your friends are doing. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. If this is a similar idea or a similar skill set or a business idea or a venture or a project that they want to do, forget about them. Focus on yourself. Don't feel like you have to dim your light to fit in to make everybody else feel comfortable. Don't worry about anyone else's uncomfortability. Shine, really radiate brightly. That's what you are made for. Don't dim your essence. So the 4th is overcome your fears. Now, fear has a really amazing way of actually crippling you and stopping you from starting before you even start. It's like, what is this thing called fear? And I tell my youth that fear is not real. It's not real. It's actually just a thought in your mind, like a thought of concern, but you assign weight to it. You assign value to it. Fear is not real. And once you assign that energy to it, you can actually manifest it in your life and now create things and situations that you have to now figure out and problem solve how you're going to get out of it. So understand that fear is not real. You need to overcome your fears, set your mind free, and really start living in your purpose. And the final fundamental truth of Niyah Zuri, and this is actually my favorite. I shouldn't have a favorite, but I have a favorite. And my favorite is that nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible, sis. Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it can't be done. You can be the first.
Yes. These are some amazing fundamental truths. I mean, Niyah Zuri is the bomb, first of all, to have these fundamental truths. And I'm just thinking about being a child and learning these truths, because as adults, I'm a coach, a life coach, and these are the things that I have to coach adult women in, right? Starting from number one, don't chase your dreams, walk in your dreams. So often I feel like we're chasing and we're forever chasing. And it sounds tiresome. Like when you really think about, I'm chasing my dreams, I feel like I would be out of breath. Like, how long am I going to chase this dream? You know what I mean? So I love that you said, walk in your dream. Always bet on yourself. That's another good one. Never dim your light. I can think of so many times where I dimmed my light to make someone else feel good.
And don't you feel that women and young girls do that more often?
Yes.
I feel that women and young girls do that more often. So shout out to all my strong females and all my strong young heroines out there. Understand that you need to radiate. Don't feel like this is a man's world. Guess what? We birthed this world, ladies. We birthed this world. We're the ones that are really ensuring existence. So understand the powers that you have and don't dim yourself.
That's right. Never dim your light. Number 4, overcome your fears. This is a good one because that's the first principle of living the empowered life.
Look at that. We're in the universal mind flow.
So we are here together. That's the first principle, overcoming your fears. We know that fear is not real. It's something that we make up in our minds. If we didn't have the fear, it wouldn't even exist, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then nothing is impossible. I love that. That nothing is impossible. Possibility is all around us. Ooh,
you're the only one that can limit yourself. That's it. Yes.
Wow. So amazing. I love these fundamental truths. If someone wanted more information about these, are they in a specific book? Like, where can they find the fundamental truths?
You can find everything right on my website, www.annanyakana.com. You can also download free parent and teacher resources. So shout out to everybody that's a virtual teacher now at home.
Yes.
Definitely you can print things out and work with your kiddos on things. You can start a book club. You can start a writer's workshop. There's coloring pages, crossword puzzles. There's everything in between for all different ages and grade levels. Everything's on my website. Dig in, tap in. You can send me a note and definitely get any sort of other encouragement or maybe questions from your kids. I'm here. I'm a woman of the people, so I cannot hide.
Yes, indeed you are. And so you have so many great things happening. So tell us about your cartoon series. You did mention that. When is that coming out, or is that in the works now?
So I have been working on the teaser for that in order to pitch to a very long list of networks. It started off with just maybe 1 or 2 networks interested, and now it's like a full page of networks that are waiting eagerly for this teaser. The cartoon series is called Adventures with Niyah Zuri, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's based on the book series, and it is going to continue the adventures, but now in a format of digital content. So on all these screens that our kids are holding in their hands, on the tablets, on the phones, especially all of these devices that are now issued even by the schools themselves, right? The wonderful thing about the cartoon, Tamiko, is it's also going to be an educational resource. Just like in my book where I have a full glossary, the fact that my book series is historical fiction, so you're actually learning about history. It's not just all fiction and something fantasy-based, right? Not any sort of fairy tale. So based on those things, I wanted to make sure that the cartoon was the same way. You'll be gaining lessons on vocabulary, on themes, on empowerment, and now you'll be able to, once again, see the representation of the characters right in front of your eyes, animated, moving, traveling the world, really bringing a spotlight to the culture of this world and really the origins of where we all spring from. What an amazing way to once again be represented in the pixels and really show the glory of all that we've contributed and teaching correct history and not indoctrination and things that are only, lightly touched upon here and there throughout the school year. No, this is going to be 365. So I'm so excited about the cartoon. The teaser will will be done. I'm literally going to complete it in just the next few weeks. My animator and I are working tirelessly to get it done. And I'm so hands-on. Believe me, if I could animate it, I would have had this done. But even then, you have to trust the process. Definitely not rush it. We're a 2-person team, but we finished all the storyboarding and now we're in the final phase. So if anyone who knows about animation, we're in the animatics phase, which is actually like the painting and the movement and the building of the environment. And the cartoon is going to be amazing, Tamiko, because it's going to be visually stunning. The older kids will want to watch it with the younger kids. The younger kids are going to be learning. It's going to be fun and adventurous. It's also educational. It's empowering our youth. It's building up our young girls. And at the end of the day, it's bringing diversity and representation to the forefront. And that's what we need. So I'm super excited. Keep up with me on my website, on my social media, all social media platforms at Niyah_Zuri. I'm constantly putting updates and teasers and little sneak peeks. There's tons of things happening with this. So my goal is to begin pitching after the new year. COVID can't stop me. I will be, zooming across the US and zooming on Zoom to make sure that I get this. Once again, this is something that is so emblazoned in me, just like my books. Now with the cartoon, I have to make sure that I don't let that younger version of me down, or any child that may feel that they don't fit in, that they're not only not represented, but misunderstood and misrepresented in history. Yeah, that's not going to fly with me. We have a responsibility, and I'm holding myself accountable every day to make sure that I'm creating this for the youth. That way they can continue to empower themselves, leave these tools, leave this blueprint, right? Essentially, so they can attain that for themselves.
Absolutely amazing. I love the passion behind the work that you do. I mean, I can hear it in your voice.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very passionate about it. I hear it in your voice. Very purposeful work that's needed. We need more of you in our society. And so,
thank you, sis. We need more of you too. And we're tapped in, and because guess what? It doesn't take one, it takes all of us.
It does. It really does. I'm so glad we're having this conversation. And so, speaking of purpose, like, you are living in your purpose. What do you think? What is the importance of living a purposeful life?
Ensuring that you are fulfilling your highest potential. At the end of the day, when you're born and you start to mature and you go through life, purpose means to understand that you have a reason for existence.
Yes.
That is huge. That is literally your entire manifested energy upon this planet. So understanding your purpose and why it's so important for me to have named the character Niyah Zuri, beautiful purpose, which is in Swahili, by the way, and really building everything on this Niyah Zuri, Niyah Zuri, Niyah Zuri. We've got Niyah Zuri Movement. We've got Niyah Zuri Books. We've got Niyah Zuri Studios. We've got Adventures with Niyah Zuri. I have so many other Niyah. Shout out to the Niyah Zuri tribe. Got to drop that in there too. Shout out to the tribe. Everything is Niyah Zuri. That way it's a conditioning of the mind, because we have to recondition the mind. We have to recondition the mind of the youth, and also recondition the mind of a lot of adults that are still lost, not understanding their identity. And they don't know their identity because they don't know their purpose, sis. You have to take that time to do the inner work, really search and explore yourself and realize what it is that's keeping you up at night, something that is keeping you passionate. What is interesting to you? What is something that makes you feel satisfied with life? Maybe you don't feel like you have a skill set. Maybe your skill set is supporting someone else's passion. That is a passion as well. We also need people to be able to fuel us and pour into us. We need teams, right? Not everybody is maybe a leader like Niyah Zuri. She has the twins for a reason. They work as a team together. They see each other's blind spots, and that is so critical. So your purpose is important because it assigns the value of your essence and of your very existence. And without understanding your very existence, you're sleepwalking through life. And I don't know about you, but you have this one life to give, or this one life to live at a time. You need to apply it. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be purposeful. You deserve to have a legacy. You deserve to be satisfied with your quality of life. Anybody or anything that's telling you otherwise, cut it out of your life. I'm telling you, cut it out of your life. Be disciplined, be diligent. You deserve to be radiating at your best and at your fullest.
Absolutely. I love that. Living to your highest potential, being happy, right? Being purposeful, leaving a legacy. So often we don't even think about those things. We don't think about leaving a legacy. Like, what is the legacy that you want to leave, on this earth? And you, my friend, are definitely leaving a legacy. I am just enjoying this conversation. I can't write fast enough. Like, so many great nuggets. I mean, I'm like, whoa, hold on. Let me write that down.
Good thing we're recording it.
Moment.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And you see what you just did is so important. Thank you for encouraging me. When I first started off on this journey 5 years ago, this has been a 5-year journey from when I first wrote the manuscript, submitted it to publishers, and I was just so certain because of how optimistic I am and how committed I am to this mission, and knowing how important this story is and the potential positive impact it can have on all youth. I just knew I was going to get these publishers beating down on my door. But guess what? I got no. We love your character, but she's too urban. Yes, they literally told me Niyah was too urban. We love your character, but do you have to go to Africa? Yes, I have to go to Africa first. I have to stay true to myself and stay true to the creation of all civilization. Like, let's bring it back. If I'm going to bring it back, I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going to do it right. I'm going to give it justice. Also, being an African woman, it's important to me. It's important of having that identity and really paying homage to my ancestors and putting some respect on our names, because we are so misrepresented in all the history books. We're really written out of a lot of history, but yet we are the first recorders and creators of all history.
Yes, indeed we are. Wow, Anna. Oh, wow. Just absolutely amazing. Listen, so one of the things I wanted to ask you about the Born Rich Foundation.
Yes, Born Rich Foundation. I have not even announced. I don't know how you found out about that, but I have not even announced. Okay, I have not even announced that yet. We are going to be announcing it in the next few weeks. I guess we'll drop an exclusive. You will get the exclusive.
We get an exclusive.
So I have the honor of being on the board of directors for the Born Rich Foundation. Shout out to Rich Mutz, who's the president and creator of the foundation. He's also a fellow Connecticut native, educator, activist, creative, musician, and everything in between. And at the end of the day, he has a focus on the youth. He has a focus on social justice, and he has a focus on really empowering our kids, starting in the classroom and then furthering it into the community. So shout out to him. He actually tapped me on my shoulder virtually during this quarantine, saw what I was doing in the state. It was shortly after I had been announced of receiving the 100 Women of Color Award here in the state and for New England. And he said, I would love for you to serve on our board. This is what Born Rich is about. We're focused on social justice. We're focused on ensuring that Black history is actually taught in the classroom, that we are empowering teachers of color, that we are empowering children of color, and we're actually empowering all youth to focus on diversity. And that way we can battle the social issues that stem from that as well, and the services that we need in the state and then abroad. So I have not actually announced this yet, but we have been working diligently for the past now 6 months to grant write, to really build up the foundation and start actually making the impact to thousands of students in the state of Connecticut first and branching out across the US. So very exciting news. We will be announcing it officially in the next few weeks, if not right after the new year. And we are all committed to doing the work and continuing the work, because it starts in our communities first. And hopefully this will also inspire others to roll up their sleeves, to take that initiative to actually make a positive change and not just complain about it. If you see a need, people, if you see a need, fill the need.
Fill the need.
If you fill the need, if you are concerned, voice your concern. No one can take your voice away from you, only you if you don't use it. So use it, apply it, speak out loud, join together. You'd be surprised how many people will want to band along with you. You're not the only person in the community or in the school or in your household that probably feels that same way. But and once again, like I said in the beginning of your show, we have strength in numbers. We really need to unite. We need more unification and not dissemination. Now, my focus on representation, my focus on bringing diversity to the classroom is not to shut out any other culture. And believe me, I'm a woman of the world. I literally have 3 different cultures contained in my being, but I also recognize that I'm a woman of color, and I also recognize that I'm a woman of the world. And with that, you can't deny the rest of the world and the origins of everything that we come from and slander us or try to concentrate our history and think that's okay. That's not going to make sure that we have youth that are well-rounded and understanding and empathetic and loving and respectful of all cultures. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So we have to definitely build that up first and primarily in order to get all of us in the same unified understanding and mindset. So yes, shout out to the Born Rich Foundation. We will be announcing in a few weeks, but yes, I don't take any days off. I'm always doing a lot of things, but this is another way to ensure that my legacy, especially here in Connecticut, will continue to serve the students and the teachers and the communities.
I love it. I love it. Well, congratulations on that. I know that you will serve well. They are lucky to have you.
Thank you. I'm like, wow. I'm like, I never, I didn't foresee it. I was like, at the time I was 33. Now I'm 34. I'm like, I didn't foresee being like 33, 34 on a board of directors, but I'm there and I'm using my voice and I'm making sure that we are staying focused and we don't, sway from our true north, which is the kids, which is the students, which is not just complaining about the problem, but offering solutions, offering curriculum, offering training to administrators, and offering an opportunity for schools to really support their administrators that also want to make sure that our students are learning about culture and there's no like anti-Black or anti-culture themes that are being, that are being just thrown into the mix and brainwashing our kids.
Yes, I love that you said use your voice. I teach a class on advocacy and social justice and how to advocate by using your story and sharing your voice. And one of the things that I always tell my group is that your story and your voice are the most powerful advocacy, social justice tools that you have. It is your voice. That is the most powerful tool that we have to make a difference and change the world. And so, never stop using your voice.
Never stop. Never stop. And understand that there are a lot of people that are here today whose voices have been taken away from them. We have to speak for everyone. And I'm thankful for my upbringing. I'm thankful of having the understanding of overseas and being a woman of the world and also growing up in the American society. I have this duality and I realize that I have all of this duality and all of this understanding for a reason. I need to apply it. And, as a teenager, I was always traveling around the world and volunteering. I thought I was actually going to be a part of the Peace Corps growing up. I didn't quite have a plan for college right after high school. I just knew that I wanted to serve. I'm a humanitarian at heart. So I just knew that I wanted to serve and I wanted to focus on the youth. And one of my trips when I was 15, I was doing a health clinic in Nairobi, Kenya, and then I was serving at an orphanage. And this orphanage was specific to children that tested positive for HIV. And either their parents had already passed or they were there because they were actually infected themselves. So they're at this orphanage. And I was there for a few weeks, building, learning, encouraging, taking care of, right? Administrating drugs and just care and nurturing and doing what I could do. And I made some really great friends. I had made 3 really great friends and we were all the same age. And we were they're native Kenyans and we were just talking about our hopes for a better world. Even at the age of 15, we all had dreams of making a positive impact. We all had dreams of being contributors to society. And we became such close friends in such a short amount of time. And the day before I left to come back to the States, all 3 of them actually passed away. They were all HIV positive. And I remember I went and I visited their grave because they don't keep the bodies out for that long. And I remember vowing to them that I would continue the work. And that's a mantra I say to this day. Almost in every interview, you'll hear me say, time to continue the work or let's continue the work. And those are experiences that I carry with me. Those are experiences that I keep at the core of me, that my childhood, my upbringing, that's the fire that I have. That's why I don't sleep at night. That's why I just take naps because I can't allow their voices that are no longer here to contribute to have been forgotten.
Yeah, and that's very powerful. Wow. Thank you so much for your inspiration and for your empowerment and just for your motivation and for sharing with us today. Listen, before we go, I want to make sure you've had an opportunity to share everything that was on your heart. So if you have like a final thought or a charge for the audience, you can share that with us now.
Thank you for that, Tamiko. I think what I would love to leave with everybody that's listening in is to not feel like this 2020 was a waste of their life. I want you to understand that there is still time. There's still time in this year and in your lifetime to be purposeful. Take some time to be still This quarantine, this shutdown, everything that's happening right now outside of our homes should be a big wake-up call that it's time to look within. We're literally forced to stay within. Mm-hmm. Take that as a red flag. Take that as a trigger. Take that as inspiration to look within yourself. Find what your purpose is. Find what it is that's going to fuel you and what's going to contribute to a better society. We need your voice. We need your contributions. You matter, you're worthy, and you're limitless.
Thank you so much for that. How can we stay connected with you through social media?
Yes, I'm on all social media platforms, really heavily on IG. So follow me, join the tribe, and shout out again to the Niyah Zuri tribe. They're my day ones, and you as well, Tamiko. Welcome to the Niyah Zuri tribe, sis.
Yes, I'm part of the tribe.
You're part of the tribe. Welcome, welcome. Let's continue the work. Let's continue to make the positive impact in all lives for everyone's benefit. But definitely follow me on social media at Niyah, NIYAH _Zuri, ZURI, and that's on all platforms. Also check out my website, www.annanyakana.com. You can order books, and I will personalize those books for your kids, so you can leave a comment in the checkout box. If you order 5 books, I will write a personal message for each child. It's not generic. I get carpal tunnel every week, but it's worth it. You can order Niyah Zuri apparel, affirmations for your kids, and also adults. You can match with your child, everything you want to do. And I have stuff for men, stuff for women. And of course, once again, I have ton of free resources for you parents and educators that just want some help and want some content to go along with the books or the themes. So keep up with me. Thank you for all the love and support. And let's continue to be purposeful. Don't sleep away the rest of this 2020. Please take this as a wake-up call and as a final inspiration for you to take that time to look within.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Tamiko.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Living the Empowered Life podcast. I hope that you enjoyed my awe-inspiring conversation with my amazing guest, Anna Nyakana, and that you were able to draw some inspiration as you continue your journey of living an empowered life. And remember, each of us can make a difference, but together we can make change. What if you can make a difference in the world using your expertise, your experience, and your story? When you write a self-help book, you have the power to help other people address their most pressing personal and professional issues while also finding your success as an author. If you're a survivor of life's adversities, if you have an expertise or experience that can make a profound impact on the world, then I invite you to register for my free training, How to Write a Self-Help Book in 30 Days. In this free training, you'll learn the 5 keys to writing a successful self-help book, how to craft an outline, how to create a writing schedule, and actually stick to it. You'll also learn how to brainstorm book ideas using your personal story, your expertise, and your life experiences. This training is free, but you must register at tinyurl.com/author training. So ladies, listen. It's time to discover and live your life purpose. It's time to value yourself. It's time to set goals that are going to move you forward in life. It's time to rebuild your confidence. It's time to fearlessly walk in your authentic power. And ladies, it's time to live the empowered life.